I'm catching all this chunky.
Put your fucking phone away.
Put your fucking phone away.
What do you want me to do?
Fucking show up, clock in to work.
Punch in!
I'll punch you.
What are your numbers? What are your employee numbers?
2.
Wow. I guess that's a valid number to have, considering that there's 3 of us.
Yep. 2.
I'm 1.
What's crackin', home chickens? My name is Vinc, and this is Spicy Chicken Sandwich, everybody's favorite podcast. And if you don't think that's true, then maybe you should check your stats again, because recently we were voted the best podcast ever in the best podcast ever poll, hosted by the 3 of us and nobody else.
I was there. I voted.
I don't know who the third vote was. It was me.
I forged your signature.
Oh, what the hell?
I mean, somebody did.
Shit.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Alright, maybe not my strongest intro, but we'll press on.
Fuck.
I'm hosting today because I just fucking crushed it last time. I was so goddamn good at podcasting.
On fire.
You should have seen me.
I didn't.
So today's episode is a pretty simple one. I thought I'd try a much simpler game than usual because I want to try something a little bit more freeform. But before we get into that, let's talk about our experience today. You have some things to say, I believe, Nate.
Sure, yeah. We went to the highly acclaimed Park of Amusement, Adventureland, located firmly smack dab in the Midwest. I'm not an amusement park guy historically, but...
Yeah, you decided to just go for the big shit for once.
Yeah, my blood definitely got big today.
He did the Monster, which is a Gerstlauer Infinity model. Very compact, lots of inversions. Pretty ridiculous layout.
Yeah, first drop is more than vertical.
Quite a bit more than vertical.
Yeah,
it's a wacky ride.
Yeah, you go straight down and inward. I think my everything, like the whole lower half of my body lost circulation for a bit there. I thought I was going to pass out today. Thankfully not. Would I do it again? Yeah, probably.
If I have any say in it, we'll be going all over the country.
I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. Then maybe there's a future for my my hobbyisms there.
But Carter, we did stuff together too. You want to go into some of the rides that we didn't go into yet?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. One of the first rides that we rode was the Tornado.
That's a big Woody.
Big old Woody. It actually stopped at the end and we had to wait 10 minutes and we got a free,
skip the line pass.
Skip the line pass.
It got stuck on the holding brake since the tech actually had to come in and push it back into the station.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I didn't know it was wrong either. I was at the front of the car, and so he comes up, and I'm like, I actually had a really stupid interaction with him. He walked up, and he was like, how's it going? And at the same time, I was like, what happened? And it nothing.
Oh.
Like, he gave me the polite white guy smile.
You both just took, like, okay, this is a failure. We'll move on to the next guy.
I hate those so much. Yeah, we stalled for a good 10 minutes there.
He had a pocket knife on him. He was, like, cutting shit on the wheels. I don't know if we, like, picked up fucking seaweed or something. Got a bee as we rode around. I'm not sure what.
No, yeah, it was probably a bee that ruined the entire ride.
Well, I mean, I was reconsidering the seaweed example, and I don't think that's it.
Are you sure? It could be.
But it was testing just fine, too, is the crazy thing. Also, they tested before they opened it ever.
Yep.
So I guess just my fat ass was enough in the back, and... Because we all sat, like, in totally different rows.
Yeah.
And I guess me being the only person in the back half of the train was just too much for it to handle.
Yeah, you got a thinky. You got a thinky.
Yeah, that was cool. And we got the worst fucking pizza ever.
Look, yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, Caesar, you went a little heavy on the salt this time.
Yeah, what was that?
It's still fine enough for me. Like, I'll probably be eating those leftovers, no problem.
That's supposed to last us until, like, the 2040s.
Yeah.
It's like cured pizza. On to today's game. I spent a long time on it. I really dug deep to find the shit. I really dug deep to find the perfect concept that would really cause us to just get into the nitty-gritty of the shitty. And here we go. It has 2 titles. I'm going to give you the first one. The second one you get at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's episode is called Good or Bad. I'm gonna give you both a topic, and one of you will choose the side that it is good, and the other will choose the side that it is bad.
Uh-oh.
And we will then debate if the thing is good or bad.
Okay, sure.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So, the first round. Big.
Okay. Wait, what? Why are you looking at me?
Bad.
Okay, Nate's saying bad. Why is big bad?
Well, it's simple, really.
Okay.
It's all so simple, and the fact that you don't see it is appalling to me. The bigger something gets, the worse it gets. This is a fact of life. In every facet, the bigger a corporation gets, the more corrupt it is.
Oh.
The bigger a piece of art gets, the more diluted it becomes, because they start trying to appeal to all of their audience, which is too many people, too many different flavor palettes.
I see.
It's just, you can't go too big. You gotta keep things reined in. You don't have to keep it as small as possible. You know, underground artists, it's harder to make a living that way. And, you know, nobody wants that, because that's how you get big poverty. But, you know, moderation is key to every facet of life. I mean, name literally anything right now. Wallaby. It's like an animal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a marmot.
Imagine if that was just fucking huge.
Yeah, that would be awful.
That shit would be terrifying. That's why they're not fucking huge.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Okay. All right, Carter. Why is big good?
First of all, there's like the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And the fixed mindset is like, okay, yeah, everything is good the way it is. And the growth mindset is, oh, we can do better. We can think bigger. We can think grander. And a lot of like education is like, okay, we got to really push towards this growth mindset. If we don't, then people are not going to be like learning as fast. People are going to, you know, be dumbasses. Along with that, there's literally a saying that is bigger is better. And there's a lot of, like, evidence to support that. Like, there's a lot of, like, computer stuff. Like, with computer specs, like, we're all trying to get better computers. Because, yeah, if you're, like, in the 2000s, those computers suck. But, and the reason for that is that it's got low memory, it's got low storage, it's got low everything. But now we're in 2025. Those things got a lot more stuff. It's a lot better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Literally the main villain in the frickin' movie is a guy who says bigger is better, and he's a fat ass and he's evil. Did you learn nothing? Name 20 animals that are larger than humans. You could probably do it, but...
Like larger elephant.
Name 20 animals that are big. Actually, don't. But...
Elephant. Giraffe. I don't know. I feel like if I go to a zoo and I see like a ton of animals that are our size, kind of stupid. But if I see like a horse, a giraffe, an elephant, those things are kind of cool to look at. Bigger things at a zoo is better.
Sure. All right. So... Sorry, there's a lot to parse here.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know if that additional argument really helped anyone.
So, Nate, you definitely hit on one of my liberalisms, which is corporations bad.
Yes.
And that's very compelling, even though I've been told it by every person ever.
Really?
Yeah. You, Carter, were making some really good points about a growth mindset, about how like being big is a process, something you engage with.
It's a process, yes.
But then you went on a tangent about computers, but the thing with computers is that they've over time been getting smaller. Like modern transistors are smaller, like a couple of nanometers across, and that's why they're so effective. Like computers getting smaller is what makes them better.
I would say they're becoming more compact. I'm not saying they're going to be smaller.
Well, like a compact car is the opposite of a big truck.
Well, like if you crush a car, you compact it, but it still has like the same weight.
Okay, but it's less big.
But it's got the same amount of storage, or even more storage.
It is at this point that we inexplicably started having some pretty bad dropout with this new microphone. Here is a summation of the lost footage. Vinc ends up siding with Nate about Big being bad, and then tees up the next round, which is fancy.
Yeah, I think he's pretty bad.
Why do you think that's bad?
Well, I feel like being fancy, first of all, it's got a lot of, like, strict guidelines to it. Like, if I was there, you would be like, oh, yeah, they're just fancy and stuff. But no, I play video games all the time, and I'm slouching around and drinking soda. Like, it's not really me, and I feel like being fancy is a way to cover up who you really are, and I feel like that's bad.
Interesting. So you think that being fanciful is to be untrue to oneself?
Yes.
Interesting. All right, Nathaniel, why is being fancy good?
Are you willing to elaborate what fancy means generally in this context?
That is totally up to you.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think that the concept of fanciness
Nate goes on to say that fanciness is a product of our class system. But despite that, ultimately fancy people have drip, which is good and baller and awesome and trumps all pain.
I think that being fancy... Oh, he's shaking his head. I told these guys last week that I was pulling out my ass hairs.
The most fancy thing that he has done ever.
I guess that's pretty unfancy, and it made me very upset.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
All right, you could rebut if you want, Carter, but
I don't think I do. Yeah,
you don't not have to.
Thank God.
I'm siding with Carter on this one. I think being fancy is bad.
Also, I did go to a wedding last weekend, and I had to look fancy, and I gotta say, it's really uncomfortable.
No, I totally agree. The culture can be very suffocating.
We were at like a vineyard, and there were bugs. So many bugs. It was like 90 degrees, and we were all in suits, and everybody was looking fancy, but everybody was miserable. I personally believe that, sure, yeah, being fancy, like, some people love to do that. Some people, like, get off to that stuff. But you're just not true to yourself at all. Like, it sucks.
I don't agree with that last part, but I think generally I do actually side with that. Like, when I get my post-grad job and, the income is incoming, like, you're going to see it in my wardrobe.
Going out for a nice dinner or something can be really good. Like, we have a tradition in my family where on major birthdays in the immediate family, we'll go and get like a nice dinner. We'll spend like $100. It'll be a pretty big event, and I always look forward to that. It's like that's like the best part of my birthday.
The next round's topic is sticky. Nate alleges that sticky is good, and here's why.
And I just think that we need to return to our roots. We need to embrace nature as it is, and what's more natural than not showering for like 5 days, just getting real sticky.
He also brings up that a lot of good foods are sticky.
Like, there's some good sticky wings out there.
Yeah. Rice balls.
Got a little sticky on it there.
Oh, I love those pancakes.
Some nice...
I don't like pancakes.
Some caramel goodies. Think about... God,
I had an awful visual of people who live naturally, and then I had the idea of, like, petting my cat, and then I try to lift my hand off, and she's just stuck to my hand.
Elmer's glue.
I like Elmer's glue.
Where would you be without it, Mr. Design Student?
I mean, I guess I used it once or twice.
You know a thing or two about some good sticky, am I right?
Yeah.
Tyler, the creator. Chromacopia.
My favorite song.
Yeah.
Getting sticky.
Yep.
That's a good song.
I just get in a good mood whenever I hear it.
It's a great time.
I need to listen to Chromacopia still.
I rest my case. I think I've said
okay.
I think I've
you
said
rest
all
your case. Okay.
I'm glad, but I don't know why.
I'm glad.
Exactly. That's just how it is.
Carter takes the side of sticky being bad, and then posits that everyone hates the feeling of waking up sticky, for some reason.
Personally, I don't like it. I think that's one of the worst things.
There's a lot of things about that I have to unpack. Hold on.
I would like it if you'd elaborate on that.
Well, let me tell you where I'm at first. So, I don't like that you think everybody wakes up sticky. And then from there, you told me to picture it, and that was also bad.
Okay, here's the deal. Everybody wakes up sticky, not every single day, though. It's usually like a once a month, twice a month occurrence. And those 1 or 2 times each month, you just fucking feel it, and you're like, fuck, this sucks. I hate this.
Okay, yeah, I'm with that.
It's a waste. It ruins shit. I have to wash it now. Fuck.
Is that it?
No, I got more stuff. I just wanted to marinate it.
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, let him marinate it.
Let me think about this all day. Also, we said we weren't going to do cum episodes anymore. God,
I didn't say that. You're the one who brought... What?
I interpret it as, like, waking up sweaty.
Yeah, sweaty, like, really hot.
Like, ugh.
What? Aiden, get your head out of the gutter.
If that's what you were talking about, no, I do not bust a nut in my sleep once a month.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that'd be weird.
Yeah, what? I would never do that.
But yeah, they're like, we go to Walmart. Like, this is a good example. Like, we went to Walmart and we got these donuts. 12-pack of these cinnamon glazed donuts. Fantastic things. The only problem is that they were left open. Like, the container was cracked open. So what we had to do is we had to put those dozen donuts in a massive Tupperware, and then we had to put that inside of the fridge. Weirdly enough, that makes it even stickier. So every time you pull the donut out, you just have a conglomerate of messes on your hand while you're eating the donut. Yes, I love the donut. It tastes delicious. I hate it when it gets all over my fingers and I have to fucking wash my hands afterwards.
I'm gonna give it to Carter, but not because of any of your points, but because of how they made me feel. Like, while you were talking, I could feel my skin crawling.
Yeah, exactly. I described it in a way that made Aiden uncomfortable, and that's why sticky is bad.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Rules. Are rules good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. Okay. Why?
Rules are guidelines for people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold people who know what the fuck they're doing back. It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
My case is closed. That's it.
Let's get some examples, okay?
All right. Examp me.
Settlers of Catan. It's the acclaimed tabletop game.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
Did we play that with you at any
No,
point?
I've never played it.
Okay, well, it's a game with a lot of rules. So it'll be there for you the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are a lot of things like that. You know, the first time around it's good, and then it kind of falls off.
Sure.
After a while, it's just the booklet is just taking up space in the box. Like you don't need that shit. Like it's worthless. Much like a lot of rules. You know, first time around you might want to refer to that, but when you become practiced, it's like it doesn't fucking matter. It's just they're taking up space. Like it's just they're using up oxygen. Would you like more examples? This game is really hard.
It's up to you. I mean, you could talk about different rules entirely if you wanted.
Okay, listen to this. A king's rule.
Ooh.
We don't like kings, okay?
We do not like kings.
Because rules are put in place by the higher powers that very often just have too many resources. There's always conflict of interest with these types of things. The people at the top get the power, they make the rules so that they can stay in power, and meanwhile, once again, we're fighting for scraps at the bottom, and let me tell you, it gets real fucking sticky when you're impoverished. You get real fucking sticky in that situation.
He's literally using verbal chemical warfare on me. This is insane.
Sticky. Rules are sticky.
Fuck. That's
Now-
compelling. That's a good that's a good political slogan.
Rules are sticky. Everyone's just existing. And I feel like we've bound ourselves to a system that is just designed to make us fail and lose our individuality.
Okay. Why are they good?
Well, Nay, I can't believe you hate the constitution of Spicy Chicken Sammich. We had an entire podcast session where we made up rules for this podcast. In a way, you're saying, man, Aiden structuring this podcast episode and making rules for it, that kind of sucks.
Well, you're owning up to being emo, per the Constitution. If you want to take the side of that.
But yeah, I feel like rules create a little bit of structure in our lives. Like, we need a little bit of a base. We need structure.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's necessity. Once you learn how to live in the system, you don't need the rules anymore because the rules are implied. So no matter what, you're going to end up throwing out the rules at some point, and it's just going to become habit.
Yeah, one day you're just going to stick food up your ass because you're like, fuck the rules about eating. I'm not going to shove it in my mouth.
It's a bad necessary thing. It's like medicine that you have to shove up your ass.
Stop talking about your ass!
Let's talk about a hospital, for example. Let's just throw away all the rules that they have. Let's not wash our hands. Let's not do this. Let's not do
You
that.
can still do that without rules.
Okay, fine. Go walk into the
You wash
hospital.
your hands because it's the right fucking thing to do. You don't need to have somebody tell you to do it.
Walk into the hospital and do whatever the heck you want then.
I will. And
They'll throw you out.
No, I will abide by the rules because I have common fucking sense.
Well, common sense is still like rules. That's your personal intrinsic rule.
It is intrinsic.
Yeah, that's still an intrinsic rule that you follow. Yeah.
Whoa. Man, Nate, you really had me under lock and key there for a while. But then, Carter's opening argument of the constitution of the podcast, that was like when the Vulture opens the door in Spider-Man Homecoming. You're just like, oh, fuck, it's totally different than I thought. That was I had my hair blown back by that.
You're just throwing Aiden's ideas away. This is why we have rules.
For the hell of a, I gotta stand on business. That was really well done.
Okay, no, that's no.
I mean, hey, that's the hardest you fought the whole time. That was good. But he did that jujitsu thing where he turned momentum against you.
No, yeah, he fucking black flashed me.
I flashed the shit out of you, man.
I don't know what that means. Okay, next one. Bad.
Oh no.
Good.
Carter saying good.
Oh shit, my phone.
Carter saying good. Why is bad good?
Oh man, well let's take the example of me dropping my phone out of my pocket. You know, for the podcast, that might be bad, but Aiden just laughed. It's really funny.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like a lot of bad things like are meant to happen. Like, as I stated before, rules are necessary, but rules are also meant to be broken. Like, people being bad opens up a lot more avenues for like other things to happen.
People do like a bad boy.
Exactly.
Okay.
I love a bad boy. That's why they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you saw me like with the wrapped up glasses and a nerdy attitude and like I'm all kind and polite and fancy, like, man, you wouldn't want to come after me. Nah, you want me knocking people over. You want me being the life of the party.
I hate fancy nerds.
Yeah, fancy nerds. Get them the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. If you're a fancy nerd, unsubscribe right now.
Who would you rather want, a fancy nerd or a handsome bully?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, bad's good.
I think our demo is old enough where that's a tough question.
Oh, really? Anyway, that is all I have to say.
Yeah, why is bad bad?
Bad is bad. That's the reflexive property. Did you take high school geometry?
I don't think that's what it's called.
See, this is why nobody likes you.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you, dude.
Fucking nerd.
This is why nobody likes you.
Nerd. It's a reflexive property.
You got anything?
I feel like this is all I need. He's being a bad guy, and it's making me feel bad.
But it's making him laugh.
But you feel bad about it.
He's gonna look back on it fondly,
The
though.
more you plead your case, the less bad I feel about it, unfortunately.
Bad is bad. How the fuck is that not just a true statement?
He gave a couple of good examples.
I did give a couple good examples.
Like, just-
Yours is like, I get the reflexive property.
Because what am I supposed to say? Explain why bad is bad. Nate, explain why this couch is a couch. Like, it's just what it is. It's just it. That's where the conversation ends.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, you did do a bad job of explaining yourself, so that's something to consider.
Gaza.
Yeah, and it was pretty bad, so yeah, I guess bad is bad.
Stop bringing... You can't do that.
Can I put my thumb in his mouth?
That would be bad, and it would be really hilarious. That would only prove my point more.
It would be bad for our friendship, but good for the podcast.
Exactly.
Okay,
See, here's the thing. Good and bad, two sides of the coin. One can't exist without the other. And so, you could make the argument that both are good because they keep the natural order of things going. But if bad is good and good is good, then what the fuck? Then what the fuck? They're both good. Then there's no coin at all.
yeah, that's like the whole Star Wars thing.
Something has to
nerd.
be... One of the two has to be bad. And are you going to say that good is the bad one? No. That's stupid. Think about that. I know you're probably going to give him the point because he's...
Think about
Because he's a little bitch. He's a little bitch wearing his navy blue shirt.
You think about that. It's a reflexive property.
Fuck you. Is that really the... Let me look it up.
I think it's with a C.
I thought it was transitive. I don't know.
Or maybe it is transitive property. Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Reflexive property of equality. Any value is equal to itself. Fuck both of you.
Oh, no! No!
I mean, I guess I can't refute that. It's math, yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this one to Carter.
It's just funny, yeah. Content, baby.
All right, relax, dude. All right, this next round is important. Eager Beaver.
Bad.
Bad. Why?
Fuck you so eager about.
Okay.
You live in a system designed to keep you down.
He's gonna say the same 3 points over and over again.
You're fucking sticky.
I think he's off the deep end.
Eager beavers piss me off, dude.
How so?
Because what the fuck are you so happy and excited and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about? Everything is bullshit. Everything is a ploy to keep the billionaires fed and fat and thick-assed. And we're in this hot-ass fucking room.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Why is this room not allowed to have AC, huh?
You could put AC in here.
Yeah, you could put AC in here, but it'd cost something.
And it would also fuck up the audio.
They
It would
need
fuck up the audio.
They need it for their big fucking mansions. Literally anything you do is to service the powers that be at the fucking top of the mountain. Nothing that you do is going to matter.
Okay, how about we rein it into the topic of discussion, though? I feel like you're just mad about stuff at this point.
Beavers are a stupid fucking animal. What are they
Yeah,
even
fun.
supposed to be? It's a mammal, but it also goes in the water, and it has a tail that looks like a sirloin steak, and it chews on wood. Who the fuck eats wood for fun? That shit doesn't taste like anything. It's like splinters. How do beavers not get fucking splinters? That's what pisses me off the most. I eat wood, and within minutes, I'm fucking bleeding. Beavers just... Like, fuck you, man. We're all God's children. Why do you get to do this? Why do you get to do that and I don't?
You know, I don't mean to go off topic, but it did remind me of something. A couple, 2 weeks ago, I just woke up one morning and I checked out the backyard, and I gotta show you guys this picture. It is a squirrel with a ton of bark in its mouth. It just ate from the tree. It's somewhere up here.
Where's the fucking squirrel? Shit.
There it is. Yeah, this guy. It's just a squirrel with bark in its mouth. It's been scraping the tree.
Oh.
Well, now I'm even more upset.
Yeah, I'll send that to the group chat and you can post on the podcast. But
That is definitely a squirrel with bark in its mouth.
yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry. It caught me. It was relevant because Nate was talking about wood in its mouth. Anyway, what was the topic again?
Eager beavers.
Could you?
Important topic of discussion.
Yeah, could you explain to me what an eager beaver is in your definition?
It's somebody who is, excited to go first.
Okay. So I feel like they're good in a way because, I feel as though without eager beavers, inside of a group, groups would be really boring. And the example that I have is literally Adventureland.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden, for 2-3 months, really wanted to go to Adventureland. And eventually it got to the point where now it's October and we finally went.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't regret it. That was a really good day.
Did you expect to?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
It was mostly that we kept on beavering us. And we got there.
The term is badgering.
We're talking about eager beavers,
I guess
man.
you're right. It's just an animal ing, so who gets, I don't know.
I don't really have any other good topics, so yeah, you could give it to Nate. But.
Yeah, I was gonna regardless of what you said, because his rant was just so impassioned that the impact it left was really something special.
I talked about the squirrel, and I was like, oh crap, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, okay.
Alright, couple more rounds.
Couple more.
Don't worry.
Boy.
We're almost done. 9/11.
Good.
Why?
Anyway, Nate, why is it bad?
So, as we all know, 9/11 was a horrid tragedy that resulted in the deaths of countless people because of a security slip-up that resulted in an act of terrorism which rocked the nation, literally and figuratively. But more importantly, it resulted in some of the unfunniest fucking punchlines that I have had to sit through in recent years. Listen, 9/11 jokes are just shock value and nothing else.
Okay.
The joke is, without fail, I mentioned a historical tragedy. And, I'm not gonna say that's not funny, but, it's lazy humor. I've gone in depth on this podcast about humor that I dislike. I thought the MLG era of memery 10 or so years ago was pretty unfunny. Because, just something will become a joke, people will repeat it, without fail, it becomes unfunny. Not only is 9/11 a horrid tragedy, it is unfunny.
Okay, so should we just skip the next 2 rounds being double and triple 9/11?
Double and triple 9/11.
Those are the next 2 rounds.
That's really funny.
We'll get there when we get there.
No, I think we skip. I don't feel
Double
comfortable
and
leaving that
triple.
in. If that's, you took it less more seriously than I thought you would. I feel comfortable leaving that in. I thought it was gonna be like, oh no, but no, you just.
Well, okay, no. Look, okay, let's do the next round and just we'll just run it. Just
all
run
right,
it.
double 9/11.
Good.
No.
So I got the point, right?
We're just gonna pretend that round didn't happen. Never forget and all that.
Never forget, however, people don't have to listen to it.
I guess we'll just do one more. weird.
Bad.
Weird is bad.
You want to know what's weird?
What's weird?
Something that's weird and bugs me. Oh, God, now I'm... Oh.
I don't know. Crap. I'm done.
Yogurt-covered pretzels.
Really?
Yogurt covers are great.
Yeah, I think they're good. You really don't like them?
You know
what else is weird?
Spicy mustard.
Yeah, okay, that's not great.
It's okay. I like a spicy honey mustard.
I don't like honey.
Oh.
Honey is weird. We can agree that honey is weird. How does it happen, really? Okay, you got a bunch of bees that make a house, and then they make honey, and we just accept that this is something that happens.
What's the deal with honeycomb?
Where does the honey come from? Why does it look like piss?
I think they spit it up, don't they?
Why are we drinking bee spittle?
I don't know. Why do we kill animals and fucking eat their carcasses?
It's fucking weird, dude. It's fucking weird, dude.
I guess that's kind of weird.
Like, dude, you know, what is honey? I don't understand it. I never have. It's a viscous substance that comes from the mouth of a tiny beast. And we slurp it up like that's normal. Like, no, that's fucking weird, dude. And that's bad.
Okay. Carter, why is weird good?
Well, as fancy is bad, I think weird is good because it expresses one's true self. And just say, what if this podcast was not weird? What if we were talking about, I don't know, Donald Trump for an hour? It would suck. This is, like, what do you... Like, I love the games that we're doing, and I love that.
I thought you were going to say, like, I love the guy. And I was like,
no,
whoa.
I hate it. No. Typical podcast is either about horror stories or political agendas or this and that and yada, yada, yada. I hate politics. I like the games that we do. I like to keep it weird, and I think all of our listeners like to keep it weird, too. That's why we're a weird-ass podcast. That's why I think it's good.
I feel like assuming that weird is true expression, fancy isn't, is judgmental and fucking weird.
Which I think is good.
You think being judgmental is good?
No.
Then what did you just say?
Oh, maybe I didn't understand it. What did you say?
You're being fucking weird, dude, and it's freaking me out. I rest my case.
Yeah, it's making me very sticky.
It's making me sticky. Stop being weird.
Dude, you're making me sticky right now.
Dude, you're making me rules?
You're making me eager beaver?
First of all, you like rules. What's with you?
Okay. Are we done now? Or are we...
I guess we're done, yeah.
Okay. You know, Carter, you didn't say a whole lot, but Nate's only point is that honey is weird and that carcasses were weird, and I like steak. So,
I like steak too.
I'm neutral on honey, and I like steaks. So unfortunately, Nate.
He said that.
Yeah, and you like played off of it.
Yeah, you played
okay.
off
So
of
the
it.
only thing you said was honey is weird.
You know what he said? He said, "Oh, but I did." What the fuck was that?
It did transitive property.
Go fuck yourself.
You all suck. Nobody gets any points for that round.
I'll take that. That's a dub.
But here's the thing, though. It doesn't matter. So the first round was big. I agree with Nate. Next round was fancy. I took Carter's side on that.
Yeah.
Next round was sticky. I took Carter's side on that. Next round was rules. I took Carter's side on that. Good. The next round was bad, and I took good on that with Carter. And then it was eager beaver, which I agree with Nate.
Yeah,
And then-
I agree with Nate too. Like I didn't know what the fuck. I was talking
And then
about.
weird, which I didn't agree with either of you. And we got rid of 9/11. So
I can't believe we got rid of.
We got rid of 9/11.
Oh my god!
guys, we did it.
We wiped out 9/11. Fantastic.
Okay, so that's 7 rounds that we've counted. Here's the thing. Remember how I said the most important round was eager beaver?
Yeah.
I've actually been writing down who was the eagerest beaver each round. Who picked a side first.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that was Nate.
Nate, you picked the side first 5 times.
Oh, yes.
However, you also said and convinced me that eager beavers are bad. And so the less eager beaver wins today's episode. And Carter, that is you!
Wait.
What?
but I also convinced you that big was bad. If he had the bigger amount of... Wait. He had the bigger amount of winning the episode, therefore...
You got the biggest pussy.
You had the bigger amount of eager beaver moments.
God, I had the bigger amount of everything. No.
Thanks, Nate, for convincing eager beavers are bad.
Congratulations, Carter.
Thank you. I appreciate this win.
Winner's speech.
Hey guys, so I'm Carter. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of this podcast. I really am excited to continue this podcast with being the host for the next episode. Nate, if you got anything else to say, that's...
Yeah, loser's speech.
Shit yourself!
I was thinking about tearing ass, but I decided not to because we're in an enclosed hot room. Fantastic.
Okay. I guess we're done then.
That's the episode.
Okay.
Well, I don't really have a hat of mystery today, nor do I have any topics, so let's just say that next podcast session's about Pokemon, and you guys have to figure it out. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. My name is Carter. I'll be the host for next time.
Do we have homework?
No, you guys don't have homework.
Okay,
it might be best to study. That's it for me. I'm not going to say anything else today. See ya.
Okay, bye.